Okay, lads, obey my commands. In the event of a knockdown, the fighter standing will go to the furthest neutral corner and stay there. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves.
Good reception for Joshua Buatsi. And this is customary pose just before that first bell. So 10 rounds or fewer for the WBA International Light Heavyweight title, which is held by Buatsi. He's done 6 rounds a couple of times against Seydou Sal and Bartolomé Grafka earlier in his career, but since he's been scheduled for 10, he's never needed to go past 4. Ford, on the other hand, has been down the stretch a good few times, and he is in excellent condition. Ford looking for that jab. He boxes out of a little bit of a crouch, rounds those shoulders a touch and looks to shoot that jab up, as he does there.
Ford trying to stay nice and tight defensively here and trying to edge his way forward, trying to pressure Buatsi with his feet, with his presence, not giving much away. Buatsi just keeping on into the jab. Nice uppercut there from Buatsi.
Ford taking the centre of the ring for the most part. Buatsi just circling around and feinting with the jab, then did throw it.
Yeah, that second jab was nice. It snapped the head back of Ford. Feinting the jab, leading with the left hook then.
Just trying to squeeze that left hook in behind the glove, but as you said, Matt, he's keeping things tight here, Ford. Leaping into a left hand of his own, didn't quite reach, but showing a little bit of ambition there. Good right to the body from Buatsi.
Buatsi just taking his time, having a look, throwing a few feints. Seeing what Ford gives him, keeping him busy with the jab.
Trying to keep that head on the move there, Ford. Buatsi again was just looking to try and measure the jab.
Cage opener. Nice body shot from Buatsi going in there. Ford not giving much away, staying very tight defensively and keeping his hands nice and high, but Joshua just trying to control him, keeping him on the end of the jab.
Little right hand there from Ford. Buatsi was a touch off balance, is slightly open. Well, the O2 sold out quick when this fight was announced, and Charlie Edwards featuring on the bill where he won his world title just before Christmas last year with that terrific performance against Christopher Rosales, defended at the copper box against Angel Moreno, and now faces his mandatory challenger in Julio Martinez, somebody who beat Andrew Selby in a final eliminator. And I cannot emphasise enough just what a scout that is, because Selby is an extremely talented fighter. Into the second round here, and as you said, Matt, the first round was kind of studied, wasn't it? Ford wasn't really giving too much away. Buatsi was taking what he could get without taking any undue risks. When he does come forward, Ford, that's how he does it. He kind of crosses his feet, walks forward and throws whilst he's doing it. Looks to try and get onto your shoulder almost.
Yeah, he's a patient fighter, Buatsi. He doesn't ever get reckless. He's a thinking fighter, so he's always calculated. He's always does everything correctly. But Ford not giving him much away in the first round at all, holding his hands very tight, defensively edging forward. He's looking for that looping right hand over the top here in this round. He's landed it a couple of times. Just trying to land a short left hook there in the clinch.
And just trying to tie up the left arm of Buatsi on the blind side of the referee. He stepped into Buatsi's space a bit more forward in this round so far.
Yeah, I wonder, is Buatsi thinking, you know what, this guy's pretty solid, he's not giving me much, he looks pretty, you know, he's never been stopped. I wonder, is he thinking this could be a distance fight, and he maybe just paced himself a bit here as well.
Got clipped by a right hand, another right hand over the top there. A couple of times now, he's just been caught by that.
Yeah, he's landed a couple of those, Ford.
The glove's not been up for Buatsi, protecting himself.
I'd like to see Buatsi try and catch that looping right hand and turn in the short catch and counter left hook. You know, when a fighter isn't giving you much, when he opens up, that's when you're going to get your opening. So dictate behind the jab, but when he does open up with that looping right hand, that's Buatsi's chance to open up with him.
Good weight to those shots there from Buatsi. A right hand, I couldn't see if it got through clean because Ford had his back to me, but he just had half an opening there, Ford, and he sprung in.
That was good work from Ford. He landed a jumping lead left hook and then a double right hook, head and body.
Nice double jab there from Buatsi. Ford again just trying to move that head. He can be a touch static at times, keeping those gloves in place, but the left hand there, the lead left hand, just piercing those gloves fairly easily. Final 30 seconds of round two.
Good body shot from Ford. He's landed some good shots in this round, Ford. Maybe even nicked him.
Jab from Buatsi off the back of a right hand to the body. It's been a tighter one, certainly.
He's looking for the overhand right. Jab moved to your right.
Well, Mark Gillespie, the trainer, they're not totally ecstatic with Josh Buatsi in that second round. He said you've got to keep your hands up, and when he leaps forward, you've got to move your feet.
Well, he's getting caught with that right hook with, you know, too much regularity. He's getting caught with that looping right hand over the top. There's that right hook again.
Apologies if you caught a bit of language from Mark at the tail end of those instructions, but he was trying to make his point fairly urgently.
Well, upper body-wise, he's a little bit stiff and upright at the minute, Buatsi, and you know, Ford is staying nice and low. He's rolling, he's crouching, and he's looping that overhand right, and he's catching Buatsi. Oh, that's good work from Buatsi. That's a nice
chopping right hand from Buatsi, and that hurt Ford a bit, I think, because he's trying to cover up now. He's backed up towards the ropes, and there's really nothing else he can do other than just go into his shell there and try and get through that, because it was that right hand maybe hit him high on the head around about the temple. There was a little bit of a stagger, and I don't think he's still quite fully recovered from it, because he just looks to move in there and grab hold. And just before that, again, he caught Buatsi with that right hand. There was a bit of body work from Buatsi, and he didn't protect himself, but I think he might be able to get to work on Ford here. 2 minutes left in the round. The corner's saying to Ford, don't be a sitting duck.
Well, I think what Ford is doing well, he's staying nice and low, his defences are good, he's looping the right hands over the top, and Buatsi getting caught with that overhand right at times. I mean, this is better from Buatsi now, here in this third round, but he's certainly, in the second, was getting caught with a lot of those looping right hands over the top, so he's got to be careful of those, Buatsi. And what I'd like to see from him is, when those looping right hands come, catch it with your left hand, and counter with the short left hook, or even the short left uppercut. You know, you don't want to... Buatsi's kind of waiting for Ford to finish punching before he looks to counter back. I'd rather see Buatsi punch with him. When he opens up, you open up with him.
And Ford just looking to try and have a go himself there. Buatsi just taking a little bit of a stagger step away to his right, trying to tee up the right hand, but he took too long about it. And Ford came back with his right, just shakes out his gloves. Good fight this so far, interesting fight. Buatsi did some damage, I think, earlier in this round, but he's got more to think about here than he's had so far in his career.
Yeah, that's a nice straight right hand down the middle. He landed a good stiff jab a couple of moments before that. But he's got to mix things up here, Buatsi. Give him the straight shots down the middle, keep him at distance, but when he does open up, when he looks for that looping right hand, which he always does forward, that's when you want to meet him. You've got to catch that with your left hand and come back with a short left hook of your own. Good left hook from Ford there on the inside.
He just got caught by a little right hand from Buatsi right after he landed it. Looking for the uppercut on the inside a couple of times there, Buatsi. Closing stages of round 3.
Get your hands up right away, baby. He's gonna jump everyone. He's gonna jump.
Don't do that. Don't push it through. Go boxing.
Well, the corner a bit happier with Buatsi at the end of that round.
Yeah, I thought he landed some good straight shots. And that right uppercut was a good shot. And the chopping right hand down. I think that's the shot that he lost his equilibrium momentarily. He was up around the top of the head near the temple. And his balance went a bit astray there. But that was a better round from Buatsi.
So into the 4th. The uppercut just knocked him back onto his heels and he couldn't really move then forward. His weight was so heavily on that right foot that the target was open for Buatsi. Nice jab at the start of the round there from the man wearing the black trunks, Joshua Buatsi from Croydon.
Come on, baby. Go to work. Keep dipping. Keep dipping with the feet. There you go. And right in. And come inside on the finish. Good.
Just overreaching with that right hand there forward. Doubled up on it, I think, for that reason, because he realised he could be in a bit of trouble. He's shaking his head every now and again, which is just a little bit of kidology. Good left hand as he walked forward there forward. He's basic when he looks to try and attack, but he puts something on those punches. He's rugged, that might be another way to describe him.
Yeah, he's always looking for that looping right hand, and he's landing it. Sometimes he lands it, sometimes he don't, but he's dangerous with it. He's got good defence himself. His hands are nice and tight. He stays quite low, parrying the shots, and he's edging forward. He's constantly trying to pressure Buatsi with his presence. Buatsi keeping him on the end of the jab most of the time, and also a few straight rounds. But I think I'd like to see a bit more imagination now from Buatsi. A few more feints, mix things up, go head and body, even punching combinations. Maybe throw 5 punches and be, you know, you're going to miss 2, but you're going to land 3, 4, 5 punches in bunches. Open him up.
Just tapping with that lead right hand, trying to set up the left hook possibly. What the corner was saying to him between rounds is you can't just walk in straight lines, and he's got to try and look for the angles, which is what you were saying there, really, which is what he did there as Ford was just on his way past. He caught him with a left hand. The jab's nice and crisp. The backhand, when he sends it through, makes a nice satisfying sound as it lands mainly on the gloves of Ford. It's easy to keep doing that because it's working well enough, but it's not doing any particular damage. We're still early in the fight, though, just in round 4. The scheduled 4:10, and Ford, as we know, has never been stopped.
Yeah, and there's a chance this fight goes the distance, so you don't want to be wasting energy hitting arms and gloves. Pick your punches, be economical. I'd like to see a few more feints from Buatsi. Maybe just switch things up, a little bit more variety to open him up a little bit.
A little bit messy towards the end of the round. Joshua Buatsi has boxed at the O2 on a number of occasions. It's always been a happy hunting ground for him. And exactly the same can be said for Charlie Edwards, who won his world title here just before Christmas. Let's go backstage and hear from him.
Charlie, back to the scene of where you won this world title. How has life changed for you since then?
It's changed massively, and I can't thank the fans enough because everyone has shown me so much positivity. They've shown me a lot of support, and it's helped me and pushed me to another level.
And I don't think you've stopped smiling since then, have you?
No, I haven't stopped smiling. I'm living my dream and I'm loving every minute of it. So I'm just going to keep acting as I am, keep living in the moment, and the world is my oyster and more.
This time it's a mandatory though. Julio Cesar Martinez, you saw what he did to Andrew Selby. How big a threat is he tonight, do you think?
He's a very big threat and a very big challenger, but it's someone I'm really looking forward to fighting, and it's time to put on a statement.
And do you think he'll bring the best out of you?
120%.
Good luck, Charlie.
Thank you.
Well, he is the mandatory challenger, Martinez. He lost his first pro fight, but things have gone well since then. And he's got a bit of power. He can definitely bang. And if he can hang in there and take something out of Edwards in the first half of the fight, then the second half of the fight could get interesting. Big swinging overhand right there again from Ford. That's what he's looked for, and he has had some success with it. Not quite as much in the last couple of rounds. Buatsi just looking to really step in there and put a bit of mustard on these shots, but then just stood off and waited a bit too long. Ford took that opportunity. Just tapping with the jab, trying to distract there, Buatsi, and it worked well because he sent the right hand in after it.
Yeah, a nice little Lomachenko move there. Just pulled the left hand down with his own left hand and chopped the right hand down.
Boxing in the family for Ford. His dad Al was Canadian lightweight champion in the early 70s, retired the same year that his son was born, so it's in the blood, if you like. He's been around it for a really long time. Buatsi really putting some heat on that jab, and is it just me, or has he looked to land with a bit more intent in this round and just put a little bit extra on these shots? Maybe just sensing, and it's a kind of thing you can only really sense if you're in there, that Ford is beginning just to slow up slightly. He just seems to be putting his foot on the gas a touch in this round.
I think he's planting his feet a bit more, but he's got to be careful because Ford's still dangerous, staying nice and low. His hands, good defence from Ford. He keeps his hands nice and high. He's got strong arms there. Not giving much away. But Joshua Buatsi, he is landing some good shots there. Right hook round the back of the ears.
But Ford just staggering forward. Looked like he might just go down to a knee there. He wouldn't have been a knockdown. He was being pushed down as Bob Williams makes the point to Buatsi there in no uncertain terms. Again, looking for that right hand. That time Buatsi did have that left glove up in place where it needs to be.
Good body shot from Buatsi. I'd like to see him focus on the body a little bit more now.
Just a little uppercut there from Buatsi to finish the round. So 5 rounds down, this scheduled for 10. Buatsi defending that WBA International Light Heavyweight title.
Yeah, nice stiff ramrod job there from Buatsi. Ford coming back with a lead right hand. He's doing the right thing, Buatsi. He doesn't want to be wasting energy hitting arms and gloves. But, you know, I'd like to see him focus on the body a bit more now.
Well, here's someone you know well. You were having a long chat with him at the weigh-in yesterday, Bob. Arum in his late 80s now, but he's still as
Corners, 10 seconds.
passionate about boxing as he has always been. He's been in the sport for such a long time. There really is nothing that he hasn't seen. And he's so enthusiastic about Vasily Lomachenko, about this stellar amateur, yet another stellar amateur that Top Rank have managed to sign and who are bringing through. I say bringing through. He had a world title fight in just his second fight, and even that was a bit too slow for him. He wanted one in his opening fight. Buatsi looking to tee up that right hand.
Yeah, he's landed some nice hard straight shots down the middle, partially blocked from Ford. He's got a strong guard, but he's not giving much away, Ford, so Joshua's got to take what he gives him at the minute, keep driving those straight shots in there, maybe throw a few more feints, try and open this guy up a little bit, maybe touch him to the head, and then switch the attack downstairs to the body. I'd like to see him focus on Ford's body a bit more here now.
Missing with the left hook there, Buatsi. Ford came back with a couple of shots, not a great deal on them. One slightly delivered with the back of the hand. There's that swinging right hand again, and Buatsi had to taste that one as he was looking to try and let his own hands go. But we've always said that we wanted to see him go deep into a fight, that was what he needed, and that's what's happening. Some of his opponents in these 10 rounders so far have been expected to give him some rounds and haven't been able to do it. And Ford is up to this job.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hype and talk about Buatsi. We know about his pedigree, we know how talented he is, how good he's looked, but in order to get from where he is to fighting the likes of Yakovlevs and, you know, Zvodiks and Baturbievs and Bivals, you're going to need rounds, you're going to need someone asking questions of you. You're going to need the likes of Ford and maybe a Sullivan Barrera in a fight after this all going well tonight. These are the kind of fights, the learning fights, that Buatsi needs to take him from the level he's at up to that championship level fights.
Well, I think last week showed that. Anthony Yard was tremendous against Sergey Kovalev. It was a huge leap up he was making, and he showed skill, he showed courage, he showed a lot of durability, he showed all the kind of raw minerals and ingredients you need to be a very, very good fighter. He just couldn't quite get it done. Maybe he would have been able to if he'd had a couple of bridging fights. It's all ifs, high-level, top-level sport, though we can't know for sure. But that's what they're looking to do with Buatsi, who's trying to get stuck into Ford here.
Yeah, solid body shots going in there from Buatsi, staying nice and compact on the inside, chopping some right hooks down as well. This is better from Buatsi. He's pushing Ford back now. Nice uppercut on the inside. This is better work from Buatsi. I like this. He's pushing Ford back. He's taking the play away from him, and he's getting more leverages into his own punches.
Well, he was just finding some gaps to the body. Well, Luke Campbell, it's the biggest night of his life. There he is on the big screen, and the crowd are seeing him now and responding to that. People have been talking a lot this week about how popular Vasily Lomachenko is with the UK fight fans, and of course he is, and people are coming here because they want to see him, but they will be supporting Campbell. They appreciate Lomachenko, but they will be supporting Campbell, and I think that's what we'll hear later on.
It's like in Barcelona, if Man United are playing Barcelona, you want to see Messi, but you still support Man United. That's my analogy.
Adam Smith doesn't.
He's a Liverpool man. Give me a no cheer.
Few seconds remaining in the round, and that's where Ford just caught Buatsi with a couple of shots, and Buatsi recognised that fact. And looking for the body, he's invested in that body work, Buatsi, more in the last couple of rounds. He was saying that he should, Matt, and he has looked to do that. It's a longer-term investment, that kind of strategy, feeling that it will slow Ford down as we go into the later stages. I mentioned some of those fights he had against the likes of Sorokin, Chudanov, Yildirim. He won rounds in all of them, a significant number of rounds in some of them. That was at super middleweight, but he had boxed at light heavyweight. Oh, good left hand there from Buatsi, and he's got him on the run now. Uppercut on the inside, and Ford just looking to try lean in and hang on here. And Bob Williams just separating the two of them. Buatsi trying to find the distance and tee up with that right hand, and Ford goes down with a big, heavy, clubbing right hand. He feels that he was hit low, I think, and in an exchange prior to that, but he's not going to make it back up here. He's trying to get to his feet, but he cannot manage to do it, and he is just holding his groin area. He feels that he was caught low, but he was certainly caught to the head 2-3 times, and they were heavy shots also. And Buatsi, as we have seen throughout the course of his career, when he gets an opening, he generally does tend to exploit it, but as he went down to his knees, therefore gestured immediately, he felt that he was caught low. I didn't get a particularly good view of it from where we're sitting at ringside. I'm sure we will get the opportunity to see it again. Buatsi just over there, concerned with the welfare of his opponent. Let's have a look, Matt, and see where this all started, see how much of a part of the low blow, if there was one, played.
I thought it was that chopping right hand and the left hook that did the damage, the legs, when he, and you know, Buatsi really locked on then, really turned the screw and went through the gears.
So nothing wrong with any of that.
That was a nice hard 1-2 down the middle.
Well, the left hand there, that's what Ford is concerned about. That was low. That was low. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He was hit with some good solid shots, perfectly legitimate shots in the build up to that. Plenty of them as well.
Well, the ref was on the right side of it, so
he could not have been in any better a position there, Bob Williams. That's a great bit of refereeing, actually, in terms of the footwork to get to exactly where you need to be. And he's an honest fighter, Ford.
Yeah,
they're watching the replays. Ford just looking up at the big screen. So I think he's maybe been slightly hard done by there, Ryan Ford.
Yeah, I think even the referee was checking to see if he'd made the right decision. He was looking up too.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Bob Williams calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 1 minute and 7 seconds of round number 7. Your winner by count out. He's still undefeated and still the WBA International Light Heavyweight Champion, Joshua Buatsi.
Well, Buatsi gets the win by stoppage. A slightly unsatisfactory end to it because Ryan Ford has been hard done by there because he was definitely